So I figured out why my audio was so weird last time. Um, I had it on negative 38 decibels for desktop audio for some reason. Um, in other news, the copper update, I believe, has officially dropped, which means that copper is now useful, which I'm gonna smelt this now, just because I want to, give it a shot. I'm gonna sleep real quick. I didn't record yesterday. I did record today though, specifically for um, just a little update. I just didn't feel like it yesterday. Yeah, there's copper pickaxes now, which I believe is in between stone and iron. Pretty sure there's also copper armor now. Yeah, look at that. Plus 2 armor, 1 on head. I don't have it. You know what? I'm gonna make myself a copper helmet. That looks cool. I like it. Um, farm is doing well. I don't really have any like major updates or anything. Uh, I think I'm gonna start talking to people. Like I think I'm gonna try and actually move on. I mean, I've been healing, but I haven't moved on, if that makes sense. Like I haven't been able to. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to though. I don't know if I really want to, but I think it's something that I need to do. Um, I feel like it's important. It's a very important step. And I think it is long overdue, you know. And like I said, I don't really think I want to. But I think that I need to. Um, actually I did have something I wanted to talk about specifically today. And it's kind of like the importance of pushing through. Like I am very emotional when it's come to this whole breakup, and it has really affected me. But I think the best piece of advice that I can give to anyone going through something similar, or maybe think that they might go through something similar, the best piece of advice that I can give is to just keep moving forward. And that sounds like obvious, but some people just don't want to. You know, I don't really blame them. Like things get rough, and then you're just like, I don't really want to move forward. There's not really anywhere to move forward to. Even if it's accepting the fact that you're not moving forward or that you feel like you can't, that's still moving forward. That's still a step in the right direction. And that's kind of something that I've slowly started to realize over time, is that moving forward regardless of what happened, how wrong they did you, or, you know, if maybe it wasn't necessarily a wrong, it was just something that happened. Moving forward is the most important part. Because even if it hurts you and it really is affecting you negatively, you know, you should still be able to maintain yourself, if that makes sense at all. I don't know. I'm just kind of yapping. College is starting to get less and less stressful. I feel like I can actually balance my classes and my time more and more. Like every class, I feel like I'm able to manage it a little bit better. That's been a big struggle for me since she left, is trying to balance work and school and, you know, coping. I still have yet to find a therapist that is in person. I really don't want to go online with therapy, um, but I might end up having to. Uh, I have also made the choice of downloading dating apps. Um, I don't know if it's something that I want, and because I have my status set on most of them that have the option for it, I have it set to not sure yet for like what I want out of a relationship, because I think that's important for people to know. I have not gotten any matches. um, but you can't really rush that, I guess. It's been weird. I don't know. I feel like even though it's been 2.5 months now, I still feel like I'm cheating on her anytime I try and talk to other women. It's weird. Like, I went for so long with that one person being the only person that I wanted, and now it's like I'm probably not even a thought in her head, you know? That's such a weird thing to come to terms with, is like you just kind of have to start talking to people again, because you can't just not, you know? And I know that. I mean, I could just choose not to. I could choose to never talk to another woman again, but I'd be miserable my whole life. Maybe someone better is out there for me, but like I don't want to really think that someone better is out there for me, because she was my better, you know? Maybe there is somebody better out there for me, even if I don't want them to be. Part of me is worried about, talking to people and not like something hitting me, like something that they say or do that reminds me of my ex, and then I'm, brought back to the same headspace that I've been in recently. And that's not fair to them. Like, that's not fair to the person that I'm talking to or possibly interested in. It's not fair to them. It's just not their fault. Like, my biggest what if scenario is like, oh, what if I start talking to somebody and then she decides, oh, you know what? I'm going to drop this guy that I'm dating now, and I'm going to go back to him. Like, if that happened, would I be able to tell her no? That's kind of been how I gauge off of it, is if she came back right now, would I be able to tell her no? And the truth is, I don't think so. I think that if she came back, I would take her back with open arms. I really do. I really do think that if she at any point asked me to come back or said that she was ready to come back, that I would absolutely take that with zero hesitation. And like, I think there would be hesitation, but I think I'd still ultimately do it, Because I think that deep down, I know that what has been happening to me is not something that I deserve. I mean, there's karma because I've treated people poorly in the past. But the thing is that I didn't treat her poorly, really. I mean, some people might disagree with me on that. Some people might think that I treated her poorly in my life, like the people that I talk to, friends I hang out with, that kind of thing. But I didn't really treat her poorly at all. Every time that we were together, I loved her with my whole heart. She had all of my attention whenever we were together. And video games were my escape when I was home, and I did play them a lot, and I should have texted her more and that kind of thing, but overall, I was constantly thinking about her. I'd brag about her constantly at like work gatherings and whatnot. Like, so there was this, the last time that we could have hang out, or would have had the opportunity to hang out, I had two possible invitations that I could go to. One of them was one of my friends' get-togethers. I'm not friends with anymore, just because of some things that have happened since then. since the breakup that I found out about him. But it was between his party to go to, which he was just hanging out with people, or it was between that and then my friend's party. My other friend's party, it was for his birthday, and we were hanging out and we were having a good time, and the whole time I was talking about her. And she wanted me to go to the other friends because, you know, obviously, but it was my friend's birthday party thing that he was having, so I was going to go to friend number 2. All right, friend number 1 was the one hosting the little get-together that my girlfriend was at the time was at. My ex was at, I guess. Man, that's still so weird to say. And that's the one that she wanted me to go to. She wanted me to meet some of her coworkers, but I was like, this is for one's just to get together, and he has get-togethers or had get-togethers pretty often, so it's not like there wouldn't have been another opportunity for it. So I just went to my friend's birthday thing, little get-together that he was having, and I went with that instead because I feel like a birthday party is more important. And realistically, I think that that was kind of like her last straw. And I was hanging out with them all night too, so like obviously I didn't text or respond much at all. And I had already had a problem with not responding quickly. I'm really bad at texting, and it's not just with my relationship, it's with everybody. Everybody I'm very poor at texting with. I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily, but that was like her deal breaker. For me, I guess. I still don't think that. I still think that she was already talking to somebody else because she moved on in a week. But because in my mind, you just don't move on that quickly from somebody that you'd been with for as long as we were together, which was 1.5 years, roughly. And that's not something that you just move on from that quickly unless it was planned out, in my mind. At least that's how I think about it. She says that it was never her intention to get with somebody that quickly, but that, to me, that's also just disrespectful because in my mind, there's either that she planned on it, or I really didn't mean anything to her. That's kind of where my mind sits on that, but I don't know. I don't think there's necessarily like anything wrong with either. I don't think she's necessarily like a bad person. I mean, am I happy with her? Hell no. But do I think that she's like the worst person ever because of that? No. I don't remember where this cave was. There was a cave that led like down, and I can't remember where it is. Oh wait, hey, it's down the ladder. Actually, I'm just stupid. But I feel like that is definitely something that bothered me a little bit. It's like it did bother me that she moved on so quickly, and people ask me sometimes, they're like, oh, does this bother you? And I try to tell them no, but I know that I do. I really did care. I broke down completely when I found out. I started spiraling, and that's not good. It was just right there. I just couldn't do anything about it. It's gonna teleport up here. There we go. Okay, just let me kill him. But that is something that I broke down over when I found out about. Was because she promised me that there was nobody else, and then there was. Less than 3 days after she said that there wasn't anybody else. And she promised me that there was nobody else, but there was. And that hurt a lot, you know. Because it made me feel like I wasn't something serious to her. Even though she was everything to me. She really was. And like I said, I don't think that she's like an awful human being for it or anything. I think everybody has their reasonings. I just wish that she'd be honest with me about it, you know. Maybe she is a bad person for not wanting that, or not, you know, telling me the truth and just lying to me. But then again, I don't necessarily know for sure if that's what happened. But that's what everybody who knows her is saying, that I still talk to, which is not that many people at this point, but it's just enough not only for me to make the assumption that it's true, and then also there's the fact that she the guy that she's with now, who she did confirm that she was with him, he was like deleting snaps and stuff because I snapped this guy back and forth because they were friends, or at least like knew of each other. And I remember actually joking around with her one day when we were together, and I was like, would you ever date him? And she was like, ew, no, I don't think I could ever date him. And now they're together, so I guess that was my first mistake. But he was like unsending me snaps and like deleting them and stuff, like literally 2 days after. So I have a feeling that it was premeditated and that she absolutely had every intention of getting with him. Probably while I was out on my senior trip when I went to Ireland, she was probably talking to him. I don't think that she necessarily, like, you know, slept with him or kissed him or, you know, anything like that, but I do think that they were definitely talking beforehand, and there's nothing I can really do about that, you know? Like, there's only so much that I can even say about it, really, because at the end of the day, it was her decision. Like, that's not something that I can really, like, go out of my way to change. And she says that she didn't cheat on me. I actually got quite a angry message about defaming her, even though every time I have said anything about everything, I have said if that's true, or, you know, I'm not for sure, but, you know. And me talking about things like, oh, if this is something that you do, it's cheating. I mean, yeah, because I was just stating it. I wasn't saying that she did it. I was just saying that to me that those things were cheating. But like I said, I've said this in the past videos, I've not really handled this well. I think I have handled a lot of things very immaturely. I am open to admitting that. Because it's true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm, you know, handling this great and she's just being, you know, a bitch or something, but because she's really not. She's distanced herself. I have not gotten a single text. Have not seen her since the last time that we hung out while we were dating, at which point she was all over me. So I was very surprised that she left 2 days later. 3 days later, however long it was. Yeah. Wasn't really ready for that one. Hello, you scared me a little bit. Oh, isn't that rare? That's cool. I've never actually found one of these before, an amethyst thing. I haven't really played a lot of survival since these things got introduced. I think it looks cool. It's a geode, right? There's a lot of iron here. But yeah, like I still have not gotten any closure from her directly. She has sent messages to my family instead of me. Anything that she has had to say to me, she has sent one of her family members to say to me, or, you know, messaged my family and told them to tell me something, because instead of just, you know, telling me herself. It's like she's incapable of it. Which to me is just crazy. How does this work? Is there a way to... Oh. Oh, these grow. That's right. They're like... I don't remember what they're called. What is this block? Oh, it's basalt. But, yeah, any closure that I've had is self-made. I have not received any text, any call. When I asked to talk to her about it in person the night that she was leaving, she said no. Made sure I wasn't home when she dropped off my things, you know. I think I've talked about this before. I'm not sure. Everything kind of blends together because I told so many people when it first happened about it, and that kind of initial thing makes me forget what I tell who and who I tell what. Apparently a lot of my friends didn't like her. I did find that out later on, is that not a lot of my friends liked her. They thought that she was manipulative and, oh, hello. Nope, get away from me. All the mobs, like, attack me once and then they give up. It's weird. Okay. Hey, there's diamonds over there. I don't have a pickaxe anymore. Whoa. I'm just gonna go around you. But, really is crazy. All I've done so far is really better myself mentally. It's had its dips, trust me. It has had its dips, but overall I think I'm better, much better now than I was. And that's really all you can ask for. Not addicted to video games as I was. As a matter of fact, I kind of have to convince myself to even play this, to record. I know it's not like I have to record, you know, like no one's pressuring me to. But it's more like a journal, you know. And I was writing down things. When I was writing down things, I really like writing things down, like in a physical journal. And I actually have one that's for her. If she ever decides to talk to me again, I'm just gonna give that to her, and it's gonna be everything that I've said. But I felt like that was keeping me more attached, as opposed to helping me move on. So I just stopped doing it. Not stopped, I guess. I still do it sometimes, but I don't do it as often as I did because I did it literally every single day. And this is kind of taking the place of it. And in this sense, it's not necessarily like I'm telling or doing something to give to another person. It's more like I'm just doing it to talk, and talking helps, you know? But yeah, it's definitely a weird transition, because even though, you know, nobody's listening to my journal entries, there's not really people listening to these either, if that makes sense, which I don't think it does really, but it does in my head. I'm very wishy-washy on answers still today. Sorry, guys. I say I'm sorry, guys, like I have a lot of people listening. As of the time of recording this, my other video has like 37 views and it has like 6 comments, and I was like, Jesus, I was like, that's a lot. It's like that was a lot more than I expected there to be. 2 of them are my responses, or no, one of them was my responses. Now there's 7 comments, and 2 of them are my responses to people. But it's still so weird, you know? Because, like, it's like having 6 people come up to you, or 5 people come up to you, I guess, in public, and just being like, hey, I heard about this, are you okay? Like, if you think about it, people are always complaining about, like, their social media numbers or whatever, or anything. Which I used to be that way, too. I would complain if my TikTok wasn't doing well or something like that. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized I was like, even if like 300 people view a video, that's 300. Imagine 300 people just coming up and watching you. Like, that'd be fucking weird. I don't think I could do that. I can barely talk in my public speaking class, and that class has like 13 people in it. I don't think I could handle 200 people, but I'm sitting here complaining about my video not going viral. Not only that, it doesn't really matter, you know? Like, social media doesn't really matter. Anything people say or do, my stepdad is cackling upstairs. He must be loving the TV show he's watching. But, social media is, it makes you so prone to just, and like this is what I did when it first happened, and for the first like month, I was posting heartbroken TikToks, and I was like, I miss her, you know, like those kinds of videos. And the more I thought about it, the more that I realized I was like, this doesn't help me. All this does is makes me more enveloped in my own emotions and have people in the comments of the videos or whatever the case might be justifying those feelings, and that just makes you want to feel them more. Maybe not necessarily want to feel them more, but you do, you know? Like you're going to feel those emotions more if people around you are just telling you those emotions are perfectly okay to feel. And while they are perfectly okay to feel, you also need to understand and like think about the fact that, you know, those emotions aren't permanent and they shouldn't be. You shouldn't want them to be. But through social media, those emotions can become permanent or very much longer lasting than they ever should be in the first place. Because you have people whispering in your ear like, oh yeah, you should, you know, oh, it never gets better. Oh, you know, I've been yearning for months, that kind of thing. Like, it doesn't really make any kind of sense. But as to, like, why you'd want to do it, but I understand why, because I did it. Like, I completely understand why people do it. It feels good to have people validate what you're feeling, and it feels good to have people, you know, tell you that it's okay, but in reality, if it's not like, you know, this is like an update or something like that, or it's not necessarily actually benefiting you at all, and it's just like, I miss her, then it's not really doing anything. Like, the point of these videos is to talk to myself and realize that sometimes what I'm feeling might not be necessarily what I'm feeling, you know? I don't know if that makes any kind of sense. But, like, is this feeling the kind of feeling that I want to feel forever? You know, like, am I going to be okay feeling like this for the rest of my life? No. The answer to that question is no. I do not want to feel like this for the rest of my life. It's awful. And talking myself through it helps me realize things, you know? It helps me think about, you know, what I need to do. So I get feedback, positive feedback that's like, hey, I completely get it, man. He was like, but like, you gotta keep pushing through, you know? Like, you don't get that kind of thing on TikTok. You just get quick comments and people who are quick to want people to like their comment. On YouTube, or even any kind of digital sharing platform that's longer formed content, it's more meaningful, I feel like. And maybe I'm alone on that. Maybe it's the same fucking interaction and I'm just tweaking. I don't know. But I feel like it's more meaningful of a connection, because like you're watching me play Minecraft while talking about my mental health. Like, I don't know. Hello, Mr. Creeper, sir. I kind of would rather you explode. There we go. But there's nothing wrong with posting, I don't think, as long as you keep in mind, like, you know, the feedback that you're going to get or what you're going to hear from other people is not going to necessarily be what's best for you. I think that you truly realize what's best for you if you just take the time and really delve into yourself. And sometimes I watch these videos at night, like when I'm going to sleep, and I really like think about, you know, what kind of advice would I give myself if somebody was telling me this? Like, I listen to it like it's a conversation. I really try to analyze, like, oh, you know, this person could do this but instead of, you know, this person, it's myself, you know? Because when you're talking about something, you're not necessarily thinking about what you can do to fix it. Because when you're talking, you're typically informing. You're not thinking about, like, you know, oh, this is the best course of action for X or Z, you know? You're thinking about, oh, this is me talking about it. And that's all you're thinking about, is talking about it. You're not actually fixing anything. And this lets me listen to myself and really analyze, like, you know, what advice would I give myself? Because not saying I give like great relationship advice or anything, but in the past I've given relationship advice to people and it has helped them. And if I can do that for myself, I think that I'll be better off for it. You know? There's a lot of skeletons here. Just gonna wait for those two to fight each other, and then I'm gonna go kill this one. And there's a creeper right there. That was a lot. Man, there's another one. Why are the bats like flying towards my head? I feel like they're just in my face at all times. Another skeleton, bro. These are everywhere. But yeah, giving yourself advice is always a good thing. And even if you don't feel comfortable, like recording yourself or talking to yourself about something, that's fine. Everybody has different ways of processing emotions and dealing with things, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know? You just got to keep pushing forward. And you can give yourself that advice, be it through a video, like an audio recording, maybe record a voice memo and talk to yourself, you know? Vent like you'd vent to a friend, and then just listen to it and think, what advice would I really give this person? And then you give that advice to yourself, you know? You can do that with writing too. Like if you write something down and you really read it and you really think, okay, if this was another person saying this and not me, what would I tell them? Because realistically, the best advice that you're going to give yourself, the advice that you're going to give to other people are based off of your own experiences. So even if you give yourself advice like that, you are subconsciously giving yourself the best advice for your personal and specific scenario. I don't know. I use this phrase, I should take my own advice, a lot to my friends and stuff, because I have a few friends going through the exact same thing as me right now, actually. And I give them advice, and sometimes I'll say it, and they just look at me, and I'm just like, what? And they're just like, you should take your own advice. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Because I should. My advice is, I'm giving advice based off of my experiences. And when I'm giving those friends that advice on how to cope or deal with the same situation as me, I should take my own advice on things, you know? Especially if it's good advice and it's not just like, yeah, go sleep with somebody else. That's the solution. Which is not. If you're going through the same thing, I don't think that getting with somebody quickly is ever the right thing to do. I don't think you should ever get with somebody immediately after. I think that is the most immature thing that a person can do. And I'll give you a reason for it. It's not just because, you know, it happened to me and, oh, my heart's so broken. It shows a complete lack of respect for the other person. And even if they broke up with you or you broke up with them, or maybe you guys were both ready for it, you're not really respecting the time that you guys did give to each other, because at one point you two did love each other. The two of you, like, truly cared about one another. And if one of you did that to each other while you were in the relationship and just as in love as the day that you met, it would probably be seen as extremely disrespectful. And I'm not saying that you should just never move on. I'm saying that you should give it time to heal. Because even if it's mutual and, you know, both of you think it's for the best, you're not healed from it. It's still going to hurt. Because that person was your support system for at least a little bit if you were dating them, you know? Piece left. And that's something that a lot of people don't want to realize or accept, is that you were with that person for a reason, you know? There's nothing wrong with taking time to let those reasons come out. Maybe you really just needed to think about whether or not that's who you wanted to be with. Like, I've realized since she left that maybe she wasn't the best thing for me. Like, a part of me really still wants her to be the best thing for me, but, you know, that might not be the case. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, I shouldn't want something that's not going to be good for me. Even though I will, and I do, I shouldn't, you know? Like, would you tell one of your friends to go be with somebody who's not good for them? Like, would you tell your best friend Steve or your best friend Christy, you know, just be like, yeah, just go date this guy. Go date this girl who's gonna, like, you know, ruin your life. Like, no, you wouldn't say that. And those are the kind of people that we accept when we're just looking for the next best thing, you know? When we just desperately want that kind of connection. And I know that I'm saying this stuff and you might think, oh, well, you just said you downloaded a dating app. Yeah, it's also been with the expectation of, I don't know if I'm ready to yet. And this is more of like a test to see if I'm ready to, which I don't think I am. Maybe I'll talk to people and I'll feel different about it. I don't know that because I haven't done it yet. But even then, it's been 2.5 months and she's already completely moved on and has given me all the indirect closure that I need to be like, to even just say, okay, I'm going to give talking to people a try. It's not even saying like I want to date them or I'm looking for a partner, you know? Maybe I just want to talk to people, go out, get my social skills up again. And that's a good thing to want. Even if, because most dating apps have a setting where it's just for looking for friends. You're not necessarily talking to them to get into a relationship, but rather to, you know, just be friends with people. Like, you can do that, you know? Like, that's an option that you can choose on most dating apps. Is, oh, I'm just looking for people to be friends with. Because talking to people is going to help you just as much as actually dating somebody is. It won't feel the same, and I'm not saying it will. But it's not going to hurt anything to do that. Like me, I really don't think that I'm ready to talk to anybody in a romantic way yet. I don't think that I want to. But I think that it's good to try and reach out and talk to people, you know? I think that is a very important thing that I need to start doing. Because I kind of dropped socialization after she left. Like, even when we were together, I kind of dropped it because all I needed personally was her. As long as I knew that she loved me and I loved her, I didn't care. And that was enough for me at the time. Obviously, it wasn't enough for her. And that's not to throw shade. It's genuinely not. Like, it might sound like, oh, that was some low-hanging fruit. It's genuinely not to be like a dick. Like, obviously, that's not what she needed, and that's not bad. You know, like, that's not a bad thing to not need, or to need, or to not want. Like, I was fine with just somebody loving me and knowing that they loved me, but she needed more than that. Because she said, I know that you love me. The night that she broke up, she said, I know that you love me. I've never doubted that you love me, but it's just not enough. Those are the exact words that she said to me. And I still think about that sometimes. Sometimes I dream about it, and I'm not kidding. And that sounds corny, but it's true. You know, like sometimes I dream about her still. About her coming back sometimes. Sometimes it's about, you know, her leaving again. It's depends on the day. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's my brain. Okay, hello. It's my brain processing that information and figuring out how it wants to deal with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I need more dirt. That's annoying. I hate it when I start carrying dirt on my person. But no, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I don't think that was her actual reason behind it. I think that she was lying. Not even necessarily to me directly. I think she might have been lying to herself and saying that that's not what she left for. The other person, I mean. And because I genuinely do believe that's why she left, that there was somebody else, but I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. I'm just yapping and yapping. I think I'm going to cut these trees down and then I'll call it a day. Then replace this hole over here. Anything fall in the hole? No. Oh man, the iron update's good. Or the copper update finally making iron useful is very, very nice. I want to say it gives the same armor as chainmail, and then it's the same, like, swiftness to break blocks as stone tools, but they're a little stronger. A little less, like, stronger as in, like, they last longer, you know? I don't know if they can mine diamonds, though. I don't think so. I don't think that they can. I might be wrong on that. I'm not sure. And with copper being one of the most abundant ores in the game, I think that'll help a lot. See, like I don't even remember when I transitioned from talking about my ex to the copper update. Like I don't know. My brain is everywhere at all times. It's interesting. I hope that everybody's having a good time, a good day, good week. And if you're not, it does get better. Even though I'm still sad about everything that happened, it's gotten better. I don't cry myself to sleep every night. I don't, you know, sob uncontrollably anytime I think about her and this new guy. I've started to move past that, and it does get better. And I didn't believe that when I was told that by other people. You know, like, oh, it gets better, dude. Don't worry. I didn't believe him. I just wanted. I was like, oh, nope, that was my person, and I lost him, and now I'm just gonna cry and be sad forever. That wasn't true. I was fine. I mean, I'm not fine. Like, I'm still very sad, and that's why I'm still going to go to therapy. But yeah. It does get better, even if it's only minorly better. Minor. Slightly better? Yeah. Oh, man. But it sure is a long trek. I won't deny that. It is a very long trek to getting to that point. Man. Sometimes I wonder if she thinks about me, you know? Like if I ever cross her mind. Probably not, but she crosses mine all the time. I mean, obviously, I'm not the one that ended things, so obviously I didn't want things to end. So obviously I'm going to think about her more than she thinks about me, but, you know. I wonder if she even cried after. Probably not. Life is weird. I'm not going to cut that tree down. I'm just going to let that marinate for a while. Till next time. Till tomorrow, next time I play. So I'm done removing all the... You know what? I'm just going to let them... It's fine. I have 20 saplings from that. I have so many saplings. I could populate this entire area with them. Oh, didn't really do much. I mean, I went mining a lot. I got a lot of stuff there. So that's something productive, I guess. Well. Hope that everybody has a good rest of your day. If not, that's okay. Things do get better. And that's all you can really ask for, you know? Things to get better. Can't ask for life to just make everything okay, because if everything is okay, it might not necessarily be what you need. Slowly improving yourself and healing yourself is going to be the best way to where you actually are going to be okay. For good. Because at the end of the day, how you perceive yourself is the most important perception that you can ever have. Well, that's it for today. Deuces.